Dímelo mi gente, right now we're getting into the Eden interview, answering all the questions you guys submitted on Instagram, everything you want to know about the album, my artistry, where I'm from. We're breaking it down right here, so stay tuned. Spending my summers in Dominican Republic, growing up in Bushwick, hanging out in Bushwick, being at family parties, escuchando esa música en cada cumpleaños, and every baby shower, hanging out in Uptown with my friends, and hearing that music everywhere I go. I feel like Latin music is so contagious, and I think mainly falling in and out of love. Growing up in New York, it affects how you see things, your perspective. Love is something that is super powerful, and so that's really what drives my storytelling in this project, at least. My passion for bachata came from a trip that I went to DR when I was about 17 years old. And when I was over there, I fell in love with everything, man. The culture, the women, the music, the food. And I spent every summer growing up in Dominican Republic from June until August. But there was something super special about that specific trip. I was old enough to go out, hang out, communicate with people, and so that trip was super special, and bachata was just like the sound of the country. And so when I was over there, yo me enamoré de esa música. It called me. It wasn't really like I chose it. It was something that que nació dentro de mí. Also, just growing up in Bushwick, spending time with my family, hearing that music at family parties and things of that nature. That's really what drove me to fall in love with that genre. My biggest influence in life, I would say, really is possibly my mother and my grandfather. They're people that I've seen overcome a lot of things, and so heading on and trying to get into bachata specifically, it's a genre that's super challenging. It's not very welcomed, and so I look at them a lot as an influence in my life, just as far as character, as far as grit, y siguiendo adelante. Those are two people that I admire a lot. And in music, I think it's definitely Aventura inspires me so much. That's my favorite band of all time. Juan Luis Guerra es uno de mis ídolos. Drake, he's one of my favorite people. I think the person who has influenced me the most, though, as a creative and an artist is probably Kanye West. He's my favorite artist of all time, and so I try to apply what he does and bring it into my world, or take bits and pieces of his philosophy and his approach and use it in Latin music. What influence do I feel being the youngest one in my group or in my team of work? Because I get the honor of working with veterans, guys who have been doing this since 2004, 2005. Guys like Ito, guys like Zay, like Free Play, working with legends like Raulito, Danny, even the younger guys. I think one of the advantages that it gives me, or the influence that we have now on bachata or Latin music, is that they have their taste and I have what I bring to the table, which is a modern, more urban feel and approach to music, and they have very traditional roots. So it's sort of, we get this hybrid or this innovative thing where we're mixing new generation, new urban, modern ideas with traditional thought, traditional approaches, and we're sort of mixing them. And so I think it's influencing a lot. Maybe not on a large scale, but definitely in a space where other musicians are paying attention to it and taking note. Maybe not copying, because nothing's new under the sun, but definitely I think it's influential because we're finding new ways to mix modern writing and production with traditional production and musical approaches. And I'm working with real musicians. I'm not just working with guys who just picked up a guitar or just learned how to use Logic. These are veterans. I'm the newest one in the room, if anything. So we're making something that is, I feel, is innovative. I feel que es distinto, it's distinct, it's different. And I'm excited to see the impact that it continues to have. Eden's the first project, so I want to see what the conversation is in 5 years from now, you know? My favorite song off the album and why. My favorite song off of the album is a song called Si el Mundo Se Cae. That song, a lot of people don't know. They think it's about a girl, but the song is not about a girl. So I actually wrote that song while my grandmother was in the hospital battling COVID. And so the song talks about, if the world ends, I would want to take my last breath next to you. And so when she was in the hospital, I had wrote that song, and I was super scared that my grandmother was gonna pass away. Thank God she didn't. And the whole concept was just this thing where it was like, if the world ends, I hope I'm next to you. But I wrote it vague enough where it could be about anybody. So if you wanted to sing it to a girl, it's for that. If you wanted to dedicate it to your mom, it's for that. If you wanted to dedicate it to a friend or a girl that you're falling in love, it is applicable to anybody. That's one of those special songs, Si el mundo se cae, and it talks about things like, you know, if the world is on fire, I would want to burn next to you. If the waters come and they drown us, I hope I drown next to you. But the story behind that record is that I wrote it for my grandmother. I wrote it to her. Yo, how did COVID affect the release and timeline of Eden? Eden was supposed to come out in June or July. It ended up coming out in November, mainly because, and thank God for it. I believe everything happens for a reason and that God orchestrates things. But I definitely was supposed to come out with this album in June. The luxury that it gave me is that over the summer, I was able to make a lot more money and save up in order to shoot more videos, create more content, and do more songs. There's 3 songs on that album that weren't gonna be on it, which was Lo Dudo, Déjame Solo, and Paraiso Cartagena. Those songs weren't gonna be on the album. So I was able to get the bread together to be able to make those songs, and those songs sort of helped complete this album. So I was super excited and grateful that I was able to do that. But it affected it, man. It pushed everything back. I was gonna start performing in June. Once the album came out, we were gonna start doing shows, opening up at festivals or different people's concerts. We were getting a booking agent. Everything worked out for the better, because I wouldn't have been able to do a pop-up shop had it come out in June. That wasn't a part of the plan. It was album comes out, go do shows. And I think the pop-up shop, for anybody that was there, it was super special. It was a moment to honor years of work and celebrate together. I performed, there was merch, there was drinks. So it was a good time. It all worked out.
You said you had 3 songs that would have been on the album? So
that are on the album that weren't supposed to be there.
So that means the project was only 4 songs long? Or you
No. So Yo Sé Que Tú wasn't gonna come out as a single. It was gonna be on the album. No Puede Ser and Peligrosa. Those were the 3 songs that were supposed to be there. So those songs aren't on the album at all, and I made 3 new songs. My favorite part of the album making process was, so Eden, we actually started making it in February 2019. And my favorite part was there was a phase where we were just crunching out ideas every day, 3 or 4 ideas, 3 or 4 new songs. And that was something really special because it was the first time I was able to put financially together a budget where I could go to the studio every day, have musicians at my disposal, and create ideas. And I think for anybody that's a creative, the place where you're the happiest is when you can start something new, fresh, and the canvas is blank. So my favorite part of the process too is definitely writing. I love writing. I love writing more than singing. I love writing more than recording. I even love writing more than putting out the music itself. When I get to choose what words I'm gonna use or what phrase or how I'm gonna communicate an idea, that's when I'm happiest, because I'm expressing myself. Oh man, I love that question. How does it feel navigating the music industry as a Christian? I am a believer. I am in love with God. And one of the biggest things that has been a part of my career and that I think has benefited me is the fact that I'm Christian. I've been able to stay away from vices. I'm a person that I don't drink. I've never smoked. And so I don't sleep around. There's a lot of things that it helped me avoid that benefited my career. When you're honest and you're genuine and you really are who you are, people appreciate that. I think one of the things I've noticed in music is people try to be someone that they're not. And me knowing my identity in Christ, knowing my identity in God, it has been something that has benefited me so much because I get to have genuine conversations with people. I get to have I build real connections with people. And people always find it interesting. They're like, man, how do you make bachata and reggaeton and you're Christian? And it's never this hard thing. It's like, man, I sing about love. I'm not over here singing about sleeping around, robbing people. I'm singing about things I've lived, falling in love, falling out of love. My music, it contains that, and God is love. And so I'm able to always have great conversations because of it. And I'm able to be wise with decisions because of it. I base my decisions or my direction on the word of God. I don't write a song without praying. I don't do a music video concept without praying. It's my compass. It directs me where I'm gonna go. how does it feel transitioning from rapping on a church stage to where I am now? I started out making music at church, rapping in church with one of my best friends as well, Amari. His music name is Tommy Revenge. And one of the biggest things that I was able to take away from that experience of rapping in church, going into Spanish music, was the performance aspect. We learned how to become incredible performers. We were performing in front of 400 to 800 people every week. It has helped me learn how to become a better songwriter, because there was a lot of times I wasn't just writing for myself. I was writing for other people. I was writing choruses. So it helped me become a better songwriter. Everything I have in music, I accredit it to doing it in church. The connections that I built, the relationships that I built with some of the best people was all because of church. And so rapping in there, it actually set me up, and it was a pedestal for me to be able to get into Latin music. And I look back at it as a beautiful process, a beautiful journey, and definitely a process that shaped who I am today as an artist and who I'm going to continue to become.
Who were the Black Crows, and how did that help you with where you are now?
Oh, hell no. Let's go. Next question. Next question. Oh, you wrote that? Oh, that's a crazy question, bro. I really feel like I'm in a Nardwuar interview. I haven't even heard that phrase in such a long time. I'm going to make it very short. That's a great question. Who's the Black Crows, and how did that help me where I am now? When I was younger, I was in a rap group. I wasn't in a rap group. I was like an honorary member called the Black Crows. My older cousin, he used to rap. And it affected me in a huge way, because my cousin was the coolest person on earth to me. And I was seeing him in this group, seeing him rap. He's still to this day, I think, one of the best rappers I've ever heard. And so I saw him do that, and I wanted to mimic that. So really what that group did was, it inspired me to get into music. That's a crazy question. Yo, I haven't heard that name in so long. That's so insane. But I definitely do music because of them. After COVID, is there gonna be a show? Yeah, well, we're planning a show. I won't say when, but we are planning to do a show. It'll be a private concert. It'll be something intimate, exclusive. It'll be awesome. There is gonna be a show coming with a live band. It's not gonna be me and a DJ. It's gonna be hot. What's next for Santo York and Frias? To continue creating great body of works, great music videos, great merchandise, doing great experiences like the Eden pop-up shop, like the show that we're planning on having, and doing things that are innovative. I think that's immediately what's next. But further on from there, collaborating, doing video concepts for other people, writing songs for other people, helping Bachata grow as a movement, getting more artists, pushing stuff forward, and just continuing to create timeless pieces of work, things that people can enjoy 10 years from now. Top 3 bachateros, Romeo, I really love Zacarias Ferreira, and JR. Number 1 dream collab, one person, Romeo Santos. Easy. Arroz, habichuela, vitén cebollado, tostones, ensalada con aguacate, and a jugo de chinola. Best borough in New York, everywhere but Staten Island. Kanye or Drake? Oh, Kanye. My favorite designer brand is Rick Owens, but I also like Raf Simons. I also, as far as sneakers, man, as I'm not gonna say it's ratchet, but I really love Dior runners. I don't have a pair of those, and I really want some Dior runners. I don't care what people say about me. I want that sneaker. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Eden interview. We answered all the questions that you guys submitted. I broke down everything that you guys wanted to know. I don't know when I'm gonna do another one of these. I don't really like talking too much, so it might be the next album, it might be the next single, I don't know. But thank you for reaching out to us, asking us questions, and I hope you guys enjoy this. Eden, out now, the album. Love you guys. Dios te bendiga.
Santo York.
Y cruel, solo dame esperanza y me quedo hasta mañana. No me monto en ese vuelo, ni me mudo para Australia. Yo me quedo, si es contigo hasta la tumba. Y si me muero, soy tuyo de nadie, debes saber. Y como Romeo, eres mi Grammy, mi soberano, eres mi premio. Ella no quiere, no quiere dueño ni novio que no conviene. Ella no quiere, no quiere un compromiso traicionero que duele. Ella no quiere.